Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Altenew, and this time we're shining the light on the new tall alpha die, and this die set is one of the ones you want to keep in your stash. It's versatile, as any letters that Altenew or alphas that Altenew has produced as a die. They're very versatile. They can be used in many different projects. I'm going to show you right now actually a straight forward, and it's just creating a title with them. But I have an idea of what I want to create. I went on Pinterest and found this quote that said, "Never give up on the things that make you smile." And one of the things that's making me smile lately is my goddaughters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a title. I'm going to use that quote as the title for this layout. So I want to create my own pattern paper, and for this I pulled a piece of this is watercolor paper, and I'm going to use the watercolor pan set, the 36 pan set, to create my paper. The way that I want to go about it is I want to create an ombre effect on the paper so that I can translate into an ombre effect on the letters. So I'm going to start with Cosmic Berry, which is the kind of purplish fuchsia tone, and then I'm going to work towards Coral Bliss, which is the other color. So I'm gonna mix the two colors along the way with some water and just go on the paper. You're gonna see that I want to wet the paper a little bit first, and then I'm gonna apply the watercolor. I'm using a thick flat brush for this. I will apply also I apply first the Cosmic Berry, and then I'm just kind of start fanning it down at the paper, or towards the left in this case, and then I'm gonna start introducing the other color, and then slowly I'm gonna keep playing with the colors. That's the beauty of working with watercolor paper, and also with I'm gonna say that it's quite a bit of water here. It's gonna make me it's gonna let me actually just move the pigment around so that the colors fuse nicely together. You're gonna see there it's not gonna be a perfect ombre, but the idea is gonna be there. There's enough of a transition in color to create the effect that I'm looking for. So it's gonna go from dark to light, and especially because I think I'm gonna put the pictures towards the bottom of the page, so I'm okay with the letters being lighter at the bottom, but I want them to be kind of dark at the top. So you're gonna see that once I have this in place, I'm actually gonna set it aside to dry, and while that dries, I'm gonna work on the embellishments. And to embellish this page, I'm actually gonna use the beautiful Peony stamp set and the die, and also the Wallpaper Art Stamp and Die Set. These are probably some of my favorite stamps. They're easy to color, they're intricate, they're delicate, and I love florals, and I love Altenew florals, so it's a plus on my book. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to use the Altenew Embossing Ink, and I'm going to emboss quite a few of the flowers with gold embossing powder. And I'm also going to emboss some of the leaves from the Wallpaper Art Stamp Set. I really love the movement that they create, and I think because in this the title is going to be kind of long and in the center of the page, I need to add some movement around it. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna emboss them. I'm gonna take it off camera, finish embossing, and I really love the Altenew Embossing Ink. It's I've tried quite a few, never been successful as trying with this one. Really loving it. So like I said, I'm gonna take it off camera, make sure that I emboss everything properly, and also die cut everything. I have the coordinating dies, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how I'm gonna watercolor. I'm gonna speed it up. It did take me some time. I enjoy watercoloring florals, especially this way that I use to create. I'm gonna say it's one of the fastest way because it is intricate, but not as detailed as other projects I can say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a wash of a color. In this case, I'm going to go with Cosmic Berry. Like I said, it's one of the colors that I'm using in the letters, so I'm going to bring them in. So I'm going to bring kind of make a small wash of the color previous to that. Sorry, I can't remember the name at this moment, and I'm just gonna dilute it really well, because I want to make sure that it's just, like I said, it's just a wash. I just want to add a wash to the entire flower, kind of wet the paper. And the paper that I'm using, this is actually cardstock. It's nothing special, it's just cardstock. It's 110 pounds, so it's gonna curl a little bit, but not significantly that it's gonna warp completely. But I wanted to use white paper. I didn't want to use watercolor paper. I wanted to use cardstock. So all I'm doing, like I said, is I added a wash of the color, and then then I'm gonna come in with just the more extra pigment of the Cosmic Berry and just start from the bottom of the petal or wherever I want to add a shading, and just kind of fan it up with my little brush. And I'm using the one of the Altenew water brushes. I actually enjoy working with this because I can control the water. So you're gonna see that after I add the wash, I'm just gonna start from the base of the petal and just kind of bring the color, like add quite a bit of pigment and just kind of fan it up. And I'm gonna make sure it's gonna take me a few steps, because I'm gonna add first as I'm gonna say like a coat that is a little bit darker than the wash that I added, and then I'm gonna come in with more, I'm gonna say pure pigment. What I mean by pure is I don't dilute it as much, so I'm able to put it in at the bottom of the petal and kind of drag it out, and that's gonna create the depth and also kind of define the petals. And it's gonna take me a while. Like I said, I did around 12 flowers and I did 2 colors. I did a variation of Cosmic Berry and also a variation of Coral Bliss, because those are the colors that I used on my watercolor background from the pan set. So it did take me a while, but I love how this turned out. I really enjoy this. It's therapeutic and I highly recommend it. So now I'm gonna set those aside to dry completely. I'm gonna start working on building my title. For this, like I said, I'm gonna use the tall alpha die and I'm gonna cut it out of the ombre paper that I created. But when I start cutting, I'm gonna cut never give up on the things that make you and I'm gonna cut the smile out of metallic craft paper, because I just wanted that to be the emphasis. You're gonna see the pictures of my goddaughters. They're actually smiling, and these are my little cousins. So love them. My family is really good. I live in Canada, they live in Ecuador, but I get at least 20 pictures and updates every day from my cousins, and we're very close. So I'm very glad that I'm the eldest cousin, and I'm able to, like, you know, be part of their lives through social media and the phone. So going back to the layout, once I cut all the letters, I'm also gonna cut one of the Live Your Dream collection paper, and I love this paper that's like white and it has little polka dots that are either green and yellow, and I use the creative edges. I use the lace dye to just create soften, I'm gonna say, the straightness of the column that I'm gonna use. And this paper is, I'm gonna say, around 5.5 inches of paper that I cut, and I just used the die to create the lace edge around it. Once I set that in the center of my layout, and I'm going with a blush tone cardstock, it's gonna say more towards the creamy side, so it's not gonna be white. I don't want white, I want everything to stand out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing all the letters. But what I did to the word smile is I cut it twice, so I'm able to add a little bit of dimension just by stacking the letters on top of each other. Once I have that in place, you're gonna see these are the pictures of my goddaughters. I don't want to add much more paper because I think the flowers are gonna do a lot of the work. So all I'm gonna do is add a little piece of vellum behind them. I just want to have something that is going to separate them from the layout, and I'm gonna add a little bit of foam adhesive behind them because I want to prop them from the page. I want to make sure that they stand out, and then all I'm gonna do is start building the clusters using the florals that I created. You're gonna see that I'm gonna add a cluster at the bottom of the title, and it's just gonna coincidentally where the pictures are gonna land. When I set up the title, I make sure that there was a little pocket that I created with the title where I'm able to put the pictures, and then I'm gonna create another cluster of flowers right at the top of the 2 pictures and another one right at the very top of the column, and that's gonna create my S movement. It's gonna give me a visual triangle, and it's gonna give me the perfect place to add my flowers. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna combine a little bit of the peachy flowers that I created with some of the Cosmic Berry, kind of purplish tone. I'm gonna add the leaves. I added a little bit of parrot and parrot was the color that I used, and also the darker green color from the pan set just to color them. And I'm just gonna put them in place. When I created the cluster on the top of the layout, I actually left a little space to add my lines of journal. After that, I am just adding a little bit of shine just because I have the shine in the letter and the smile, and for this I'm using the antique gold ink spray from Altenew. And then I'm gonna bring the wood veneers from I think it's this is our family collection, and I'm just gonna place them around the picture. I don't want to add a lot more embellishments, but once I landed them, I thought they were gonna be really dull. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of the ink spray that I added to the little splatters around the page. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that shine to the wood veneer, and all I'm using is just the tip. I think you can call it the tip of the little bottle screw. They just use it to splatter. I'm just using to color the wood veneers with that, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. It did take a while to put together, but I love the results. I hope you try it, and as I always said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Make sure you check the tall alpha die. It's one of those dies that is going to be great for all your projects. If you check the blog, there's a few more ideas that I created using this die, and honestly, it's one that you wanna keep in your stash. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care, guys.